Hello everyone, Rommie Lee here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I hope you're all doing mighty fine today. I had a lot of fun with the first one, even though we didn't really get anywhere, not to the exciting stuff. But, if you watched it, I hope you had fun. I'm going to try a little better this time to differentiate voices. I know I can't do voices for everyone, I don't have that kind of talent. But, now that I'm alone and able to record, I don't feel as embarrassed to try. So, I guess without further ado, let's just jump right back into it. I did like the judge's voice I did though, like that stern, that stern kind of voice. Actually, before we begin, I always want to talk about stuff that's been going on, like in the world, but I always forget. The only thing I could currently remember is I found out on the, darn it. So Facebook or Twitter? I think it was Twitter, I can't remember. The creative director, the animation director for the anime of Dr. Stone passed away. I can't remember her name. But I was like, no! I guess she also worked on Black Butler. That was sad. We've been losing a lot of like anime and manga people lately. That really breaks my heart. You know, it makes me worried for Hirohiko Araki, who he's in his 60s now, but I guess he's planning on letting Joe Jolian be the end, which feels kind of bizarre to me. No pun intended. But enough about that. Let's continue, because I'm intrigued to get into this game more. Trying to get into the mind space of the character. Now then, let's repose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency! How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? I shot him. State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was me shooting him point blank with this gun I found. Ryonosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. So, damn it! Do it now! Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and it was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Well, everyone, this is all I really got, so... Can we look closer? Oh, we can. John H. Wilson, male, British, time of death, 19th of November. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. Did they have that kind of forensics back then? That sounds weird to me. No exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. Take this! Well... I like the animation of him looking through the papers in a panic. According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right, the post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. That's not very thorough. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be testing any of this later. This is the so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. Oh man, he didn't even get to eat a steak? Now that's the real tragedy here. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Makes sense to me. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. I'm gonna have to turn this whole thing on its head to prove our innocence. So that's a photographic print. This is like what, late 1800s? So yeah, that would be quite a feat to have such a print like that. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. It's the Attack on Titan. I mean, wow, it's too detailed to be a drawing. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Oh, here we go, everyone. Yo! Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Oh, boy. Oh, this is it, then. I think I may have worked on what... darn it! I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I could still act as your assistant. Ah! Of course! When was he speaking with me before? Oh, when he was speaking with me before, he simply said... Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer of this trial. Loopholes. We're already doing it. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. He's got a tiny little fan on the back of his head. So the first witness is the waiter guy. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Hosonaga. Well, shoot, this voice is gonna sound too much like the one I'm using for Kazuma. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. You got tuberculosis? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, I can't do a protagonist voice, unfortunately. It is a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. You sure about that? Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery 3 days ago. Yes, I've dined there myself. Understood, Hosonaga-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, piss off. Perspiring, maybe, but aspiring? No. It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. Oh god, more blood! It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. Oh, Ryonosuke, you shouldn't have said that. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, You will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryonosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? I know, you gotta take care of that. How is it not on the towel? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman at the and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? Rewind. There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryonosuke? That's just not right. He's lying. I still love the dramatic strings. It's very tense. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, he was with a lady friend. There was a woman sitting opposite him at the table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed? He's lying. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I hate when the game plays these mind games with me. Like I know we're supposed to be starting the trend of, you know, going, objection! Let's wait and see. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryonosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I've never had to go... I'd never have gotten to Yume University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say, yeah, so I should have just interjected. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, dear me. What are we gonna do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Osanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. They're coughing up blood and stuff. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I got a cough too. Jeez. I feel like I'm losing my voice all the time. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. What's all this? Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Nah, there's foul play going on here. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... But you didn't see that coming, did you? Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Guess he didn't think of everything. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Uh-oh. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Yo, where's your mask? You gotta look out for that Delta variant, it's gonna get you. So... The court has now heard a precise... what? The court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. No. Nani? Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense. If you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who are present at the scene of the crime. Gulp. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? It's time to stand your ground. What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Yada yada. He's like, are you serious? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikatova said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. You mustn't be scared. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face, is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryonosuke. Yeah, that's how you do. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Yeah, there we go. Wow, everything Phoenix Wright has learned came from Kazuma, even the pointing. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. He stirred the emotions of the gallery. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with proceedings. Tisk. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. You know, I love how the creators of Ace Attorney have just created, like, an immortalized, like, you know, humorous character. Like, I think there's only one game where the tutorial prosecutor was a different guy. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witness at once. And delay me no longer. Oh yeah, those guys. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. I don't know about this one, guys. I don't know about voices. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayasa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employed as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kyoryo Korakuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier? What an unusual pairing. Actually, this is kind of the first time there's been two witnesses, like, side by side. That's weird. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. That's going to make proceedings quite challenging. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Yeah, I heard it too. It sounded like a baby cry. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecutor was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. A dual witness testimony. This is new. We haven't even gotten to the part where we could start cross-examining. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at a restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back. Oh, you messed up. You done messed up, Nosa. The cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Oh. So you didn't see anything. What? Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment? You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That little baby whine is, like, throwing me off. Oh, he's got a knife! Oh, my God. You can't bring that into the court. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryonosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the... Why'd you pick it up? Just leave it alone. You wouldn't be in this situation. After I'd said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking... Why don't you say, hey, is that yours? This is quite the curious case. Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. But who? And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to what that criminal, to who that criminal was. There is? Ryonosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these two witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. I don't think so. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to cross-examination. Oh, naughty? Yada yada. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Gulp. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryonosuke. But, I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryonosuke. Don't let them beat you. Yeah! Alright then. It's all or nothing. What the witnesses saw. Luckily, I know exactly where to stick their nose in it. Let's just go past this. Go on. Right here. Yeah, I don't think we need to press, because we got this. And for that I have to say, check that! Put your hand down. Where's Judge Judy? She'd be going, put your hand down. Someone say something. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print into my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. What? My channel in a I was gonna say my channel in a Let's Play. My channel in a nutshell. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom. Ugh. This is so frustrating. Ryonosuke. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Oh, that music. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Ryonosuke. Yes, sir. What, sir? That statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Affirmative. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest, with no exit wound. Sergeant, according to your witness's statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, I see he had a little baby with him. He's a dad. What? So there's actually 3 witnesses. What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Ryonosuke, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. He's gonna break that table. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Ooh. Got him. We got medals? Wow. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial. Just in that one discrepancy? So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. Yes. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interested in me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Oh god, indeed! The Hoya Koban, my prized coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute. In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you? On the day under scrutiny, it was the military man that I proffered my Hoi treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not. But I was presented with the little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhappen, had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoy treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoy Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. My precious.
The baby took it. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Aoichi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. What? My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it'll become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryonosuke Naruhodo.
I was going to say Harunodo.
What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he?
Ugh.
Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. And sadly, everyone, that's where I'm going to leave this episode. I gotta say, I know Ace Attorney can be time-consuming, so I'm never really sure the right spot to leave off an episode. But I figured I'd leave them decently long, at least. But I'm having fun. I'm gonna try and record as many as I can today, and hopefully tomorrow. There's other stuff I have to get into, though. So maybe I'll do this for today. I don't know, I'll work something out. I don't always have the best times to record. But once again, this has been Rommie Lee. And if you like what you see, and especially if you're a fan of the Ace Attorney series, feel free to like and subscribe. No spoilers on, like, you know, how the cases turn out, of course. But I'll see you around. Bye.